Hi everyone, it's Alicia from Green Light Healing, and today my video is talking about 8 signs that you might have an energy block and need some energy healing. I'm a professional energy healer. I mainly do kinesiology. I'm also Reiki attuned, and I'm also a professional tarot reader. But I'll leave the tarot out of today's video. I'm not a medical doctor or a psychologist or anything like that. So the signs that I'm talking about here, these are things I know energy healing can help with. Sometimes they have physical or other causes that a doctor or counselor needs to look at. But I'll try to make it clear when you should be seeing one of them. Okay, energy healing can work on a lot of different things, general issues, specific issues. It's very wide reaching in the things that it can help with, and that's also because we're multifaceted beings. We have our physical bodies, our energetic subtle bodies, we've got emotions and our thoughts and attitudes and things like that as well. So to me it's just not really that strange that perhaps a muscle pain might also have an emotional, energy factor contributing to it. So I'm not going to explain that so much in this video, but some common signs that I see again and again in clients coming to me. These are just things where I know, okay, they really need this session. Okay, so I've got 8 to talk about today. The first one is jaw clenching or teeth grinding. It's very common. A lot of people do this. I do it sometimes. I used to do it a lot, and then I got energy healing for that. The causes, it's always good to find out what is the contributing factor, what's happening upstream that's causing the sign or symptom of either gritting your teeth or clenching your jaw muscles or kind of even grinding them. Some people only do this in their sleep. Other people, they notice that they're doing it in their waking hours as well. But it's not just the modalities that I practice, but commonly, a lot of alternative health modalities, they know that the jaw is a place that's very common for us to kind of show our stress. Not long ago, I had a client who came to me for, dealing with a relationship breakup that was really, very, very hard on her. And when I did this session, I just kept finding the jaw, and I was a little bit surprised, but I asked her about it, and she said, yeah, I've had terrible jaw tension. I've had a mouth guard for years. So there was definitely something there that her body, needed some help releasing. One of the styles of kinesiology that I do is called Kinetic Reset. They have a lot of different protocols, and for them, like, one of the 2 main things that they try to look at in almost every session is TMJ stuff, which is the temporomandibular joint, this that joint, and also related to the muscles around there and of the face and kind of neck. Just because all manner of energetic stresses can show up there. I mean, for me, in my case, it's emotional stress. It can sometimes be if I've been exposed to a lot of fragrances, which my body doesn't like, and then that night I'll be gritting my teeth in my sleep. Before I knew I had food sensitivities, that was also a sign. Like, I was just so kind of tense at night. It was pretty horrible. But I've gotten rid of a lot of that. Oh, it was also magnesium depletions, but of course that happens when you're stressed as well. So anyway, I know a lot of people who experience these signs. So don't just go for the mouth guard. If you need one, use one, but try to find out what's happening in the background in your subconscious upstream, whether it's like a physical sensitivity or an emotional stress. It's really worth sorting that out. Okay, point number 2, repeating patterns in life, relationships, or emotional responses. So obviously these would be negative repeating patterns, or repeating patterns you don't like, or things that bring unpleasant consequences. So it might just be relationship dynamics, maybe at work, or maybe in romantic relationships, or maybe between family members, or something like that, or in friendships. Something that repeats again and again. I had one client, as an example. She said, "Look, I pick these guys, to date, and they all seem very nice, but and they've been long-term relationships, and then they abandoned me at like some, you know, like dramatic juncture." And we worked on that for a while. We found a few things, and after a while, I still actually am in touch with this client. She's like, "It doesn't happen anymore. It's just not a problem." So I'm not saying that's the only way it can show up. For some people, it's maybe a chakra imbalance that causes, certain emotional responses, or like they behave in a certain way that doesn't always benefit them, and that kind of thing. Emotional responses that are sort of like that have a hair trigger, that's also quite a common one. And then people realize, look, why am I, for example, angry all the time, or why do I always blame myself, and that kind of thing. So it's worth addressing those patterns, and there are often energetic components to that. That's not to say people can't, for example, see a counselor, or get conventional medical help, and then that they shouldn't do anything else, because like I said, I just feel like everything's a conglomerate, and you've got to address it from more than one angle. All right, point 3, feeling stuck when you're trying to move forward. That's a very frustrating situation to be in. If you're doing the things that make sense and nothing's moving, then it's definitely worth trying to see if there's some kind of energy block. It could be a subconscious sabotaging belief. It could also be chakra stuff or other things as well. But that's a sign that, yes, things are not as aligned as we think. All right, point 4, always feeling thirsty, or almost always feeling thirsty, or almost never feeling thirsty. So there are medical reasons for this. So if you're experiencing something like that, please get it checked out by a doctor first. But hydration issues, so it's related to water and electrolytes. Actually, there are energetic aspects to this part of our well-being as well. Kinesiology has quite a lot of protocols, different ones, to address various aspects of hydration. And it does sound a bit random, but if you feel like it doesn't matter how much you drink, you never quite feel that your thirst is quenched, that's a sign that something's out. The same thing if you never really feel an impulse to drink liquids, non-alcoholic liquids. But hydration can have a really profound effect on people's well-being, and also like how long an energy healing lasts. So with the kinetic reset that I do, which is the one type of kinesiology, the founder is like really emphasizes hydration, and he says that's one of the first things he does before he even looks at specific problems, because if he fixes the hydration, the energy correction that we do, sorry to use jargon, that has the potential to last a lot longer, rather than kind of fixing an issue and then the person kind of flip-flops out of being in balance again, and they feel terrible a few days later. So we kind of want to go for a long-lasting benefit. Point 5, feeling ungrounded. I refer to it as feeling spacey, but you may experience brain fog, difficulty concentrating, difficulty staying aware in present moment awareness. That's a very common sign. It's actually also very common among energy healers. So I do a lot of work for other psychics and energy healers as well. So there may be obvious reasons, there may be other medical reasons. Well, one of the obvious simple things would be maybe a lack of sleep, or a need to eat nourishing foods, or someone's got jet lag. I won't go into the other medical things, but if I think a client needs to see a doctor, then I'll tell them. But energy healing can restore balance and find disturbances in meridians, chakras, or the aura that might be making the person feel easily ungrounded. It's not a nice feeling, and you kind of just don't feel like you're like in your own shoes, it's just it's worth getting grounded again. Okay, that's something that I do quite a lot of in my work actually. Point 6, bodily symptoms, physical symptoms that worsen with stress. So this is actually what caused me to study kinesiology in the first place. It's what made me try kinesiology in the first place, although I didn't realize it. So I went because I had terrible eczema that I'd done other things for. Those other things had improved it a lot, but there was still a little bit left that was very stubborn. And then I discovered, okay, that there was an old emotional, energetic stress. We cleared that, and after 2 sessions, my skin was fine. And let me tell you, I'd been struggling with it for years. So stress can show up in a lot of different forms. It can manifest in our physical bodies in a lot of different ways. But of course, you know, stress also affects our emotions and our mental well-being as well. It also affects our subtle bodies like our chakras, our auras, our meridians. But commonly, people would experience maybe sleep disturbances, skin irritations, skin upsets like more acne or a rash, or, you know, just skin that looks red, that kind of thing. And also digestive issues that are stress related are extremely common. So, you know, energy healing, even when there's a known physical, like obvious cause, energy healing can still help because, like I said, you know, we're multifaceted beings. Like all of these things are kind of, excuse me, mixed up anyway. And energy healing is like a stress management system. It's something that we use to reduce our total load of the things that we're dealing with. And so our system then ends up with ample capacity to cope. Okay, point 7, moods that you cannot explain. You might wake up one day and just feel angry for no obvious reason. You can't connect it to an event or a person or anything like that. You know, there could be lots of different reasons for that. You could have picked up energy from somewhere else, which happens. Your system might be trying to release an old emotion and it's kind of like not quite, you know, going on its own. It could also be in a meridian flow imbalance or just like one of the things I mentioned earlier, you might have a sort of an emotional pathway in the brain that just is very easily triggered. So it's almost like a default emotion. But either way, you know, it's worth clearing. And if you can't release it yourself with your own methods, whether, you know, that's journaling or exercise or, you know, doing something else, then it might be time to see someone to help you release that emotion that you cannot explain. Okay, finally, feeling weird, tired, or unpleasant after being around a lot of people. So you might have been in a crowd, you might have been at a concert, you might have been on a packed, you know, plane or train, or maybe you see a lot of people in your work. But if you feel weird or depleted after a day of face-to-face interactions or being around people, then it might be a sign that you need some energy healing. There are obviously self-care things that can take care of this as well. It's just when those things don't work, then you might need a little bit more of a boost or someone who can kind of look at where the problem is, why it's happening, help to clear it or fix it, and then hopefully keep you feeling a bit more robust for longer. So, I mean, that could be like a damaged aura. It could be, you know, also picking up energy from other people. Those kinds of things don't have to be scary, but they happen quite often because we're, you know, energetic beings as well, and being around other people, like everyone's got an energy field, and sometimes, you know, you're kind of transferring things a little bit. So, yeah. Sometimes we need help discharging the extra stuff if we can't do it ourselves. So those are the 8 signs that I commonly see, 8 energy blocks. I offer energy healing sessions and tarot readings. I'll pop my website below. It's www.greenlighthealing.net. You can book a session online. You can pay by credit card or PayPal. I think that's everything, but yeah, look in the description below for my links and all of that stuff. Thank you very much for viewing. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.